There's only so many times I could say this David situation just keeps getting worse. I feel
Damn,
like with this
again?
new update, the only thing left to say is why is this man not in jail yet? Why is
Right.
LAPD dragging their feet? How do we not
Right.
have enough yet to lock David up? I feel like
Right.
at this point it's pretty clear,
Stupid.
like who
What?
killed Celeste. It's pretty clear what the plans was for Celeste.
Right.
DA
It's
clearly
been clear to me, but this is just making it worse. Do your homework. Shout out to Poetic Flacco for giving us this great coverage. Shout out to Grabber Lee for giving us this great smoking. Photo Gray. I'm finna smoke another one. I just smoked one for the last video. Nigga, skating
he thinks David did this, but there were more than one or more than two people who had some knowledge of it. A circle around David knew various things. The DA is closing in on somebody, and I believe two people who are very close to David, the singer who is a suspect in the murder of Celeste Rivas.
Yeah, I have no hope whatsoever in this investigation. We've been hearing the DA is on his tail since about week 2.
Yeah,
and what's
literally.
happened since week 2? David has been around the world. David has been chilling.
That's crazy.
David has managed to turn over all his properties to his mother names. David has had ample time to prepare his defense. So we have no faith in this whatsoever. LAPD is a freaking joke. Now,
It's not their fault. It's not their fault, Flock. It's goddamn it. Somebody higher up with a lot of power is covering this shit up because they got money to make. You know what I'm saying? And they don't give a damn about who got killed. They trying to get that bread.
There's an update on this case. Now, the update itself just makes me realize why I don't have no faith in LAPD whatsoever. Because this update, if it was anywhere else, is pretty damaging and will get that person in cuffs. But because it's LAPD and they're incompetent nincompoops, nothing is going to happen to David whatsoever. The private investigator, Steve, that was hired by the house owner, he let us know a while ago that when he was initially hired, he was hired after LAPD did their raid. And he showed up to the house and he found a treasure trove of information and evidence that LAPD didn't take with them when they conducted their search warrant.
Already suspicious. Already suspicious. I remember when I first seen the video of them like going in his house and like taking everything out of his house, and they had like two handfuls of shit. I'm like, this all y'all got?
And they never came back to take these items away, even though they knew these items were there. They found it during their raids. They quote unquote took pictures of it, but they never seized it into evidence whatsoever, and he couldn't understand why. Well, it looks like we finally figured out what that was and what the treasure trove of evidence is. And it didn't come from LAPD or the DA. It came from the private investigator who spitefully released it because LAPD, instead of going after David, they've been going after him. They've been subpoenaing him. They've been trying to hold him in contempt of court. They've been trying to jail him and arrest him.
What?
Because he's been updating the public on information. They even did the same thing to the medical examiner office, where their job is to provide transparency to the public.
That's their job.
They have put a muzzle on a medical examiner office. Now they're going after the private investigator who's been trying to help get David locked up. So he just said, F it, bro. All right, if y'all going to come after me, I'm going to release
this shit anyway, right?
So we finally know exactly what LAPD didn't feel like was necessary to take. And we do know a search warrant, you can only take certain things, but they still have the option to go ahead and get another search warrant and come back and get pretty damning evidence from my perspective in this David case. In a Twitter post, Steve writes, although my words have been misquoted by some, what I actually said about certain items found at the Doheny address was that they were items you would expect to find on a farm rather than a home in the Hollywood Hills.
So that sounds like something like they was ready to cut her body up. Or they was getting a bunch of shit to like dissolve or burn, or you know what I'm saying? A slaughterhouse. That's what I think of when I hear that. I think of a fucking slaughterhouse. I don't think of, you know what I'm saying? I think of a real life slaughterhouse when I hear that.
Doheny address, if you guys are not familiar, that's the address that the Tesla was found at. Also, David's primary residence in LA. One of those items was a burn cage incinerator. Why was a burn cage at a private residence?
Come on, bro. Cut this shit the fuck out, bro.
Well, that's the question we're all wondering. So, LAPD did a raid or did like a search warrant of the home. They found a burn cage
incinerator
in a home where a dead body was found in a Tesla outside. And they thought, this is not important. Let's forget about this, all right? And they never took it into evidence whatsoever.
That's crazy, bro. And I'm looking at the craziest part about this shit is I'm seeing one right here, and this shit is $300. $300. Y'all can't really see for real. This is $300. Now I want y'all to understand, this is the same house that they know David was living in. They know that he had some type of sexual relationship with this young ass girl. And they know that they found her body in his car outside his house, cut up in the trunk. And then they go in and coinky-dinkily, just a coinky-dink, they find a burn cage incinerator. Hold on, y'all. This is my clothing brand. I need y'all to go support your boy, okay? And supporting your boy with some pretty cheap clothing, all right? And you're going to be fly and fresh as hell, man, all right? Link in the description. Theari.us. Go shop. Come on, bro.
Found was a burn cage incinerator advertised to burn at 1,600 degrees.
That's crazy.
Human cremations are typically performed at approximately 1,400 degrees.
That's crazy.
An incinerator is not legal to use within city limits
and serves no legitimate
purpose at a residential property in the Hollywood Hills. Some will argue that
what do they even use that for?
Was intended as a prop for a music video. Cut it out, bro.
Cut that shit out.
Cut it.
That would really work if the dead girl wasn't found in your car outside of your house. You almost got me, buddy.
Get out, man. Those evil, sick, maniacal Fs were planning to cremate this little girl's body, bro. Yeah, they were just waiting for the right time to take that body out, cremate it, and get it out of here, bro. And to me, that was going to be the last stage of this murder cover-up.
That was going to be the last stage.
The body.
It's over with.
Like, she's already been missing for like a year.
Exactly.
Parents don't really seem too concerned about locating her.
Exactly.
You cremate the body, man.
No evidence.
You good.
You're good.
Because they don't really feel like they really have any messages that are incriminating. They don't really feel like they have any text calls, nothing at all.
Right.
And the police got the body, and they still can't piece together this murder mystery. If you would have cremated her, it would have been over with, bro. All right, it's done. Now, yeah, some will argue this item was intended as a prop for a video. If that were the case, it raises several obvious questions. Why do a 55-pound burn cage be delivered to a private residence instead of directly to a prop designer or production house?
Right.
Why would it be ordered before departing on an extended world tour?
Exactly.
And why was it never used in any video production?
And why not? That's like me saying I bought a fucking rocket launcher because I'm going to use it in a music video. Maybe I bought a fake rocket launcher, but why would I order a real U.S. military tank to my house to use it for a fucking music video when I could just go get a fake tank? It's not like if the shit was fake, it'll make sense. Usually when you hear prop, that means fake blood, fake guns. You know what I'm saying? Fake knife. You feel me? Fake missile, fake rocket launcher. Fake, like, get the fuck out of here.
It is also important to note that there were additional items present that could be used in conjunction with the burn cage. What those items were, well, we would never know. That's because LAPD has a muzzle on Steve.
Right.
To be very clear, this burn cage was not used. It was still new and in the box. However, given the Celeste Hernandez remains were ultimately found in a Tesla trunk, the presence of an incinerator at the same residence associated with the vehicle necessarily raises questions about intent.
And then she already came cut up. Coincidence? It's too many. It's been, since this shit happened, it's been 10,000 coinky dinks that got me like, yeah, he did it. I've been thinking he did it a long fucking. When I first heard about it and seen his picture about 4 or 5 times and found out he was talking to the little ass girl, she was 11. Oh yeah, I knew he did it. Yeah, no question in my mind. I think the little girl got cut up and they brung the body there and left it there because somebody was supposed to go in that trunk, get the bag, get the body, put the bag into the incinerator, burn the body to ashes, throw the ashes in the air, and that was the end of all evidence. You know what I'm saying?
The burn cage was not taken during the search warrant, and because it was not used it appears it's not of importance to any possible criminal investigation.
Oh, okay.
But we think it's important context, even if not criminal. The burn cage and other related items were delivered to the residents under a false name.
Oh.
Although, come on, bro. Come on, son. Come on.
False name. Who were they ordered from? That's the next question we can ask, right? See, if you was an actual police who was actually trying to do your job and you didn't have somebody above you trying to cover all this shit up, these are questions you would ask. Like, where did this cage come from? Who purchased it? Let's go talk to the person who purchased it. Who card it? You know what I'm saying?
The burn cage was delivered under a false name, so there's no ties to David. They found it, man, cut it out, bruh. Although the deliveries were accepted at the property, attached is a photograph. He does show the burn cage in the box. And apparently crazy, this right here is what it would look like. The Law and Crime YouTube channel did an interview with a detective and a law enforcement instructor, whatever that means.
Shout out Law and Crime.
And even he seems pretty bewildered and confused as to why the burn cage was not an interest to LAPD. He would explain that even though the search warrant was not for the burn cage and it was very specific, they could have very easily went back and got a piggyback warrant the same day and come back and get the burn cage. So them choosing not to get the burn cage after about 3 months is kind of confusing and incompetent.
I cannot think of a legitimate, innocent reason why a burn cage would be received at a private residence.
I don't think anybody can, Matthew, but LAPD.
No
cap. Be ordered under a false name. I also, frankly,
let's
can't
actually
understand.
Just start there. Keep your thought. Okay. The only thing I would say is about a false name. You know, if he's a celebrity, he doesn't want people knowing that he's staying there. Thoughts?
Fair enough, but
I can get jiggy with that.
Got a bunch of people that he's working with because he intends to use this as part of a concert tour, as part of a video. He's got a whole staff of people that can order something for him. I don't understand why he would need to do it under an assumed name.
A whole fake name. When you got this big ass, you got the cameraman, the camera guy, the camera helper, you got the manager, you got the agent, you got the manager's assistant, you got the lawyer, you got all these people. Like, what the fuck? Or you could have had it sent to another. If you was really going to use this for a prop, you could have had it sent to a production company. You could have had it sent somewhere else. So you didn't have to use your you get what I'm saying?
But your point is well taken. That could be an innocent explanation. But again, to Steve's points, if that is indeed the intent for this item, why is it delivered to a private residence? Why is it not with them on tour? Why is it not taken to some location to be used for some kind of a video? That said, I also can't think of a good reason why LAPD didn't seize this item. I mean, if you're conducting an investigation into a body found in the trunk of a car, one of your working theories has got to be that this body was placed there in order to move it from the scene where the death occurred and then transport it to some third location to conceal it or dispose of it.
Isn't there like 2 crimes being investigated at the same time? One, the crime of murder or homicide, because they're now coming around to the idea that Celeste was murdered, that she didn't, just overdose herself to the trunk of a freaking Tesla. But there's also, if murder didn't happen here, there's also abuse of a corpse, desecration of human remains. Those are other crimes that are being investigated. And you would probably be closer to that once you find out who ordered the burn cage. Because the person who ordered the burn cage is more than likely the person who, A, either David, or 2, they're helping David. And if they're helping David, then they were probably the person who moved the corpse, who abused the corpse, who desecrated the human remains. And you could bring them in on some charges and make them turn against David. But if you have no interest in the burn cage, if you have no interest in who would want to order that burn cage or who ordered that burn cage, since it wasn't ordered in David's name, you can find out who did that fake name belong to, who ordered it,
what
car,
why
did they order it. Those are things that I think you would want to bring the burn cage and have it into evidence, right? Because let's just say they take a picture. Again, I'm not a lawyer here, people, but they take a picture and they're not in possession of the actual burn cage. Couldn't, they just say, hey, that's a prop. Hey, like what was inside the burn cage was not the actual burn cage. It was something, right? Like if you don't have an actual picture of the actual burn cage or in possession of it, it's just absurd and it's insane. And I would think that they'll be trying to keep in possession whatever evidence they have, especially when you take into consideration David and his friends are actively going out of their way to conceal and hide information and removing all digital traces as we speak. Key example of this is with this dude here called Neil the Asian. This is one of like David homies. He been scrubbing his social media, bruh. He done scrubbed everything. If you go to his social media, there are huge gaps of posts that he has taken down, things that he has removed. And you want to ask yourself why. Like, if you have nothing to hide, why are you taking certain things down? And then come to find out.
And that's why I be saying, like, it's a lot of people who are not picking up the phone, calling the police and being like, hey, Mr. Officer, I know that David killed this girl. This is how I know. This is what I think. This is what I heard. This is what somebody said on the phone when I was here. I don't see. And if you're not doing that, you're just as evil as him. You're just as fucking weird. You're just as evil. You're just as low down. You're just as bogus.
If you like go through his page, well, these are no longer there, I believe, but you see him, bro, he's posing and he's partying with Celeste. Neo is a grown man. Celeste in this picture, I believe, was about what, 13 years old?
Oh, this the actual girl? This is actually Celeste right here? Because I know this the other Celeste, I think. I'm pretty sure this is the other Celeste.
He's chilling and having a good old time with Celeste. He's partying with Celeste, and it's like, yo, like, why are you guys hanging out with a 13-year-old?
Exactly.
Where is her parents? Now, if this is a man who was with David often on a routine basis, almost daily, one of David right-hand mans, who was around Celeste when David was very careful on who he brought Celeste around, very careful on being seen with Celeste, especially towards the latter part of her life, then, bro, this man, like, removing things from his social media, hiding things, trying to conceal things, that's very important.
Let's read the bottom right here. Flagging this as someone who used to live in this building for years, which has very distinct interior features. The attached photos are the location of the party where we see Neo and Celeste Hernandez sitting on the couch with David, and who I do think is Vanessa, not Celeste Rivas. Behind him, or the other Celeste. Behind them and Vanessa and Neo posing in the hallway also included a recent rental listing so you can see property and unit details. Not all units look the same, different floor plans, etc.
Right? And if these people are going out of their way to hide certain things, he was like really cool with Celeste as well. Really cool.
That's Celeste?
Right? So if he's going out of his way to hide certain things and to conceal certain things, then shouldn't y'all also be like as proactive as them into revealing or uncovering certain things, or trying to hold and be like,
at least arrest someday?
I feel like they should be like hoarding evidence at this point, bruh. Whatever could be seen as evidence, you hoard it, bruh, because you don't know what's important and what's not, especially when they're being proactive. So this dweeb came back on Instagram to explain why he's been removing things from his Instagram and moving hella shady and hella suspicious.
I didn't even read all of it.
He writes, I mean, eventually I'm going to say something, but I kind of hate forcing myself into solitude because people on the internet assume the worst in people and will make up legit anything out of nothing.
What do you keep? I think I read this somewhere else. People on the internet assume the worst in people. Bro, there's a dead teenage girl cut up body in your car in front of your house. What the fuck are you talking about? Makeup. And then he says, people and will make up legit anything out of nothing. This is not making up anything out of nothing. This is asking questions about why this little girl is in all your pictures, why you have videos of this missing little girl, and then this missing little girl ends up dead, cut up body in your car in front of your house. That's not making anything. That's actually asking questions about something. That's not making up anything out of nothing. Do your homework on the difference, Mr. Frank.
So eventually I'll say something when I'm ready. Love all the real people that have been kind to me and don't make false assumptions. Bro, it's not really hard to explain, hey, bruh, I was with David. He was hanging out with this chick. They did have an intimate relationship. David is an pedophile, right? Like, David is R. Kelly Jr. Lock him up. It's not really hard, bro.
That ain't hard.
You should be on the right side of things, especially in this time when you know David about to get arrested. You know. Rather it takes 5, 10, 20, 30, because there's no statute of limitations on murder, buddy. You know things is crumbling down. turn on this man and say everything you know. Because I'm sure somebody who was around Celeste and David, I'm sure you know when Celeste passed away. I'm sure you know how Celeste passed away.
You know when you stop seeing her. That's
I'm sure
what
you know
do
why
know.
Celeste was put in that trunk. Because David will have to explain to you guys why Celeste ain't showing up no more and why she's missing.
And if you're looking at the possibility that somebody is trying to dispose of a body, and you search the residence of a person of interest in that case, and you find what is essentially a home crematorium, why don't you take that? I know that when you're serving a search warrant, you can only seize the things that the court authorized you to seize and that you told the court you expected to find there. I'm sure nobody expected to find this item there. But what you do in a search warrant when you find something evidentiary that was unexpected is you write what's called a piggyback warrant. It's a simple addendum where you say, hey, judge, while serving that search warrant that you issued, we found this other thing. We think it's evidence. We'd like to seize that too. It's a typical one-page addendum that's tacked onto your warrant. I've never seen a judge not sign one of those, and I don't know why that wasn't done in this case.
Because LAPD are incompetent nincompoops. If you guys believe this David case is going to get solved anytime soon, good luck. I'm done being optimistic about this. I think LAPD has butchered this investigation at every turn. But y'all let me know in the comment section.
I tell you what, who he can't run from God though. So, you know, he might not get caught. And honestly, I got them vibes a long time ago. Like, I got them vibes a good minute ago. The vibes of like, he probably gonna get away with it. People gonna end up let this go on for like another year or two, maybe. The public gonna forget about it. People gonna stop talking about it. Only people that's gonna be thinking or talking about it is her family and his family. You know what I'm saying? It ain't gonna be on the news no more. It ain't gonna be on YouTube no more. People gonna stop talking about this, stop talking about that. And then eventually I'm scared he probably gonna get away with it, but he can't run from God though. God know what he did. God know what he did, shorty. Oh, bro, God know what he did. And shit, nigga, that's really all that really, really matter. Like, yeah, he can go to jail and he could be in jail for the rest of his life as far as like the physical. But shit, nigga, what's the average lifespan? Like 70, 80 years? Nigga, you gotta do your whole afterlife forever. That shit don't got no time on it. When you die and go to heaven or hell or wherever the fuck you go, the spiritual realm, wherever you want to call it, that shit is forever. Ain't no time on that. So shit, whatever. And I don't know what happened after you check. I don't know. I can't tell you that shit scare me and keep me up sometimes at night, nigga. Be honest with you, 100%. But I know it ain't gonna be no good shit for that motherfucker. I know that.